Hi everyone, this is HE47 Liberty, and today I want to talk about the definitions of money, particularly as it pertains to the United States. One definition of money we get from the Constitution, and the other definition of money we get from the Federal Reserve and Ben Bernanke. And under Ben's definition, as illustrated by Ron Paul when he asked him what is money during the subcommittee finance hearings, Ben couldn't answer. Ben just kind of mumbled around and gave some weird answer. Basically, to Ben, the definition of money is whatever he wants it to be. Well, the Constitution saw that if someone could make money whatever it wanted to be, there would be a problem. Kind of like problems that we are experiencing now. So, what did the Constitution say what money should be? And since the Constitution is the law of the land, we can say that this is lawful money, where the Federal Reserve and Ben Bernanke are practicing unlawful money. It's unlawful because you simply can't, they can't define it, so how in the hell do we know what it is? So anyway, let me go and look in our handy, trusty guidebook, the Constitution. It's more than a guidebook, it's the law. Okay, you can find out what money is, according to the Constitution, by looking in Article 1, Section 8. Here it states, "The Congress shall have the power to coin money, regulate the value thereof, and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures." Fix the standards of weights and measures. Also, they continue to go on. Make sure we really get it. In Article 1, Section 10. What does it say? It says, "No state shall coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything," that's with a capital T, "but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts." Okay, so now, since Congress is responsible for the weights and measures, they had to decide what is a dollar. Okay, so in the Coinage Act of 1792, they actually defined what a dollar is. And I won't bore you with the actual details. You can go and look it up. The Coinage Act of 1792 will tell you exactly what a dollar should be and what weights and measures that they used for gold and silver to be money. But I did find some interesting things on how the Coinage Acts of 1792 and the Constitution combined to make the money very open and for access to everyone, so everyone can make their money and can make money. And one of the lines that got me was, persons, this is what it says in the act actually, "persons may bring gold and silver bullion to be coined free of charge." Yeah, you could bring it free of charge and get gold in return, get real money. So, since Congress was in charge, and actually the people are in charge of making sure the measures and standards stayed honest and pure, they put in they said what would happen if someone were to try to mess with the money supply, to try and lower the quality. So here's their quality control measure. This is in the laws of the Coinage Act of 1792. Quality control measures were implemented in that from each separate mass of gold or silver used to produce coins, 3 coins were set aside by the treasurer each year on the last Monday in July under the inspection of the Chief Justice, the Secretary and Comptroller of the Treasury, the Secretary of State, and the Attorney General. The coins were to be assayed, and if the coins did not meet established standards, the officers were disqualified from office. Further specified in Section 19, the penalty for fraud or embezzlement by officers or employees of the mint, or of debasing or making the currency to be of less weight or value, was death. Yeah, don't mess with it or you're dead. All right, being dismissed would be the easiest thing that would happen to you. So, we know that under the Constitution, people wanted honest money, and they wanted their money to actually have value. So, What's the Federal Reserve? What do they do? Well, according to Ben Bernanke, he can't even define it. And that's one. And number two, you know how you can go to the mint and you can get your own money. Well, can you go with, let's say, a pile of paper, go to the Federal Reserve, have them print you up a bunch of money? No, that's not going to happen. So the Federal Reserve is closed. Only Ben Bernanke can make money, or who's ever in charge of the Fed that week. So I got a few questions about this. It says, so I ask, do you think the Federal Reserve is producing money that is of less weight or value than is mandated by the Constitution, which is law? Obviously, with the soaring prices of gold and silver, the dollar, which is under Ben Bernanke and the Federal Reserve control, is losing value. And according to the Coinage Act of 1792, the penalty for losing value or destroying the value of the dollar is death. Look out, Ben. So, I have some more. How much weight, value does this money have? It has, according to what they tell us in school, it has the weight of the value of the current Federal Reserve note, which really isn't even money, is the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. Do you really have that much faith in the government? I sure don't. Everything they touch turns to crap. Does the government have credit? Well, in order to have credit, one must make something, produce something, and then save it, and then loan it out. The government makes nothing. It takes. It does not produce. So how much faith does faith have? How much weight does faith have? How much weight does a promise from the government have? Not too much. According to the markets, according to silver and gold, there's no faith. It's losing it by the minute. So, what have we learned? What we have learned is there are two definitions of money. One, under the Constitution, and according to those definitions, how we've prospered. Under the Constitution, constitutional definition of money, our country went from a third world backwater to a world superpower, and with economic superpower, where we held half of the gold reserves. We produced half of everything on the planet that people use. Now, zoom forward. To today, where we've been under 100 years of the Federal Reserve, or virtually 100 years. We are now the world's largest debtor nation. We produce nothing, and we're on the verge of economic collapse. We don't own anymore. We don't own half the world's gold anymore, and we definitely don't produce half of the world's goods anymore. So you have to figure out which is better, constitutional money or Federal Reserve undefined, imaginated trash that the Federal Reserve is putting out. Thank you very much. And remember my motto, trust in God. Everyone else pays in silver.